Irrespective of who you are and where you're from, never you underestimate anybody. You all know me as a cleaner, but behind the cleaner is the genius.
Clean it up, Sera Parkist, her diamond-studded fingers waving dismissively. And try not to be so clumsy next time. Valerie's hands trembled, not from fear, but from restraint. 3 months ago, she'd addressed the United Nations about cybersecurity reform. Now, she was on her knees in a Seoul mansion, picking up glass shards while the wife of Korea's most notorious hotel magnate laughed with her friends. "Did you hear about the Valentine's charity gala next week?" one of Sera's friends asked, sipping wine. "I heard even the Minister of Technology might attend." Valerie's pulse quickened. Her father, President Michael Chun of Aurelia, had no idea his daughter was currently scrubbing floors in the home of Jin-Woo Hwang, owner of Celestial Grand Hotels. A man whose empire was built on elegance and allegedly something far darker. Speaking of the gala, Sera's voice dripped with malice. "I have the most brilliant idea." Valerie kept her eyes down, sweeping glass into a dustpan. "You know what would be absolutely hilarious?" Sera continued. "We should invite the staff. Can you imagine? Our little maids and drivers mixing with Seoul's elite." The room erupted in cruel laughter. "Sera, you're terrible," one woman gasped between giggles. No, I'm serious. Let's invite them. I want to see them squirm in their pathetic best clothes while we parade in Chanel and Dior." Valerie's jaw clenched. Her fingers tightened around the dustpan's handle. "You there." Sera snapped her fingers at Valerie. "What's your name again?" "Valerie, ma'am." "Right, Valerie. You're invited to my Valentine's gala. Formal attire required." Sera's smile was venomous. "Don't embarrass yourself too badly." The women dissolved into laughter again. Valerie stood slowly, meeting Sera's gaze for just a moment, long enough to see the woman's cruel satisfaction, short enough to maintain her cover. "Thank you, ma'am," she said quietly, then left the room. In the servants' corridor, Valerie finally exhaled. Mrs. Song, the head housekeeper, appeared beside her with concerned eyes. "Don't let her poison touch your heart, child," the older woman whispered in Korean. Valerie had learned the language fluently during her MIT years, one of 7 languages she spoke. "I'm fine, Mrs. Song." "No, you're not. I see it. You're different from the others." Mrs. Song's weathered hand touched Valerie's arm. "You don't belong here." If only you knew, Valerie thought. She'd spent 3 months infiltrating this household for one reason. Jin-Woo Hwang's Celestial Grand Hotels wanted to partner with her country's government on a $500 million smart city project. But intelligence reports suggested his money might be laundered through cryptocurrency schemes that could destabilize Aurelia's entire digital infrastructure. So Valerie had done what no one expected. She'd gone undercover herself. Not as a diplomat, not as an investigator, as a maid. "Mrs. Song," Valerie asked carefully, "what kind of man is Mr. Hwang?" "Really?" The housekeeper's expression softened. "He's complicated. Not like his wife. He treats us well. Pays double the standard wage, gives us holidays, asks about our families." She paused. "But his business, there are whispers." "What kind of whispers?" Before Mrs. Song could answer, heavy footsteps echoed down the corridor. "Mrs. Song, has the new security system been giving you trouble?" a deep voice asked in Korean. Valerie's breath caught. Jin-Woo Hwang himself stood before them, tall and commanding in a tailored black suit. This was only the 3rd time she'd seen him up close in 3 months. "No trouble, sir," Mrs. Song replied, bowing slightly. His dark eyes shifted to Valerie. "And you are?" "Valerie, sir. I've been working here for 3 months." Something flickered across his face. Recognition? Suspicion? It vanished too quickly to read. 3 months, and we haven't properly met. "My apologies." He extended his hand. Jin-Woo Hwang. Valerie shook it, noting his firm grip and the calluses that suggested he hadn't always lived in luxury. "An honor, sir. I overheard my wife's invitation just now." His jaw tightened. "I apologize for her behavior. You're under no obligation to attend." "Actually," Valerie heard herself say, "I'd like to go." His eyebrows rose. "You would?" "Yes, sir." A slow smile crossed his face, not cruel like his wife's, but intrigued. Then I look forward to seeing you there, Valerie. He walked away, leaving Valerie's heart racing. Mrs. Song stared at her. Child, what are you planning? Valerie smiled. Justice, Mrs. Song. Just a little justice. That evening, Valerie sat in her tiny room in the servants' quarters, video calling on an encrypted line. Val, this is insane, her best friend and head of security, Marcus Rivera, said from Aurelia. You can't blow your cover for some petty revenge. It's not petty, Marcus. I've gathered enough evidence. Huang's businesses are legitimate. Every transaction clean. Every employee paid fairly. The cryptocurrency rumors? Planted by his competitor trying to tank the deal. So mission accomplished. Come home. Not yet. Valerie's fingers flew across her laptop keyboard, bypassing security protocols she designed herself. Something else is happening here. Huang's wife, Sera, she's hiding something. Large cash withdrawals, private meetings with a man named David Ko. I think she's the real criminal, and Huang doesn't know. Marcus groaned. So now you're investigating the wife too? Marcus, if Sera's running an illegal operation under her husband's nose, it could still contaminate our deal. I need proof. And the gala? Valerie's smile turned sharp. The gala is where I get it. Sera invited me to humiliate me, but she's given me the perfect opportunity. Every major player in Seoul's underground will be there. Someone will slip up. And how exactly does the president's daughter show up to a high society gala without blowing her cover? Valerie opened a secure browser, pulling up her private accounts. Remember that Bulgari necklace, the Midnight Aurora, that went to auction last year? The $10 million one? Val, you didn't. I did. And I have a dress that cost more than most people's houses. She grinned at the screen. Marcus, I've spent 3 months being invisible. On Valentine's Day, I'm going to be unforgettable. Marcus shook his head, but he was smiling. Your father is going to kill me for enabling this. Dad thinks I'm on a tech conference tour in Singapore. What he doesn't know won't hurt him. 1 week later, the night of the gala arrived. Valerie stood in a luxury hotel suite across town, courtesy of Marcus's arrangements. The dress, a custom black gown with a daring neckline and a slit that reached her thigh, hugged her curves like liquid shadow. But the real masterpiece was the necklace. The Midnight Aurora, 300 diamonds arranged in a cascading pattern, with a 40-carat sapphire at its center. Under the light, it looked like a galaxy had been captured and placed around her throat. Her phone buzzed. Mrs. Song, the gala started an hour ago. Sera's been asking if you're coming. She wants her joke to play out. Valerie texted back. Tell her I'm on my way. Fashion is worth the wait. She stepped into the limousine Marcus had arranged, not just any car, but a custom Maybach with diplomatic plates. The driver, one of Marcus's most trusted operatives, nodded at her in the rearview mirror. Ready, ma'am? Valerie fastened the necklace's clasp. Let's make an entrance. The sapphire grand ballroom glittered like a jewel box. Crystal chandeliers cast prismatic light across marble floors, where Seoul's most powerful elite mingled in designer gowns and bespoke suits. Champagne flowed. Diamonds sparkled. And at the center of it all stood Sera Park, resplendent in red Valentino, holding court like a queen. I wonder if the help actually showed up, she said loudly to her circle, checking her diamond-encrusted watch. Maybe they realized they didn't belong. Her friends tittered dutifully. Mrs. Song, dressed in a simple navy dress, stood near the service entrance with the other staff members who'd been invited. Her eyes kept darting to the main doors. Jin Woo Huang stood apart from his wife, speaking with business associates near the bar. But his attention kept wandering, his expression unreadable. Then the ballroom doors opened. Silence rippled through the crowd like a wave. Valerie entered alone, moving with the grace of someone who'd attended state dinners since childhood. The black gown flowed around her like midnight water. But every eye in the room fixed on one thing, the necklace. Under the chandeliers, the Midnight Aurora came alive. The sapphire caught the light and threw it back in brilliant blue fire. Diamonds cascaded down her throat like frozen starlight. Someone gasped. Then another. Is that? A woman whispered. That can't be the Midnight Aurora. That's in a private collection. It sold for $10 million. Someone else breathed. Sera's champagne glass froze halfway to her lips. Her face drained of color. Valerie walked through the crowd, which parted instinctively. She caught Mrs. Song's eye and smiled, a real smile, warm and genuine. The older woman's hand flew to her mouth, tears already forming. "Good evening," Valerie said, her voice carrying effortlessly across the hushed room. "I apologize for my tardiness. Traffic in Seoul can be unpredictable on Valentine's Day." Her accent had shifted. No longer the hesitant Korean of a foreigner, but the flawless, educated tone of someone who'd studied at the best universities in the world. Jean Woo's eyes widened. He set down his glass carefully, recognition finally dawning. Sera recovered first, her voice shrill. "How dare you show up here looking like? Who do you think you are?" Valerie turned to face her, and the entire room held its breath. "I think," Valerie said calmly, "it's time for introductions. My name is Valerie Chen. I'm the daughter of President Michael Chun of Aurelia, and I hold a double doctorate in computer science and cybersecurity from MIT. She paused. "For the past 3 months, I've been working undercover in your home as a maid." The ballroom erupted in shocked murmurs. "That's impossible," Sera sputtered. "You're lying. This is some kind of—" "Mrs. Park," Valerie interrupted, her voice still calm but carrying steel beneath. "For 3 months, you've treated your staff like furniture. You've mocked them, degraded them, thrown things at them." She gestured to the crowd. "You invited them here tonight not as guests, but as entertainment, as a joke." Sera's face turned crimson. "Jean Woo, are you going to let this imposter?" "She's not lying." Jean Woo's voice cut through the chaos. He stepped forward, his eyes locked on Valerie. "I've known for 2 weeks." Now Valerie's composure cracked slightly. "You what?" A slight smile touched his lips. "Did you really think I wouldn't run security checks on everyone in my household? Especially after someone with your skills started working with our digital systems." He moved closer. "I've known you were Valerie Chen since week 2. What I didn't know was why." The room had gone completely silent now. This was better than any K-drama. Valerie recovered quickly. "Then, I came to investigate your business operations. Our government was concerned about potential money laundering through cryptocurrency, which you discovered was false," Jean Woo finished. "Planted rumors by my competitor, David Ko, who's been trying to sabotage our smart city partnership." "Yes." Valerie's eyes narrowed. "But I also discovered that David Ko has been meeting secretly with your wife. Large cash transfers, encrypted communications. I believe Sera's been helping him." The ballroom gasped collectively. Sera's face went from red to white. "That's absurd. Jean Woo, she's making things up." "Am I?" Valerie pulled out her phone, projecting an image onto the ballroom screen. Bank records, meeting logs, photographs of Sera and David Ko. "I'm a tech genius, Mrs. Park. Your encrypted communications weren't encrypted enough." Jean Woo's expression turned to stone as he studied the evidence. "Sera, it's not what it looks like." Sera's voice climbed to near hysteria. "He said it was just business. You've been embezzling from my hotels to fund KO's cryptocurrency scheme," Jean Woo said quietly, dangerously, "using my reputation as cover." Security guards appeared at the doors. Not Jean Woo's usual team. These wore Aurelian diplomatic badges. Marcus Rivera stepped into the ballroom, followed by Korean federal agents. "Mrs. Sera Park," Marcus announced, "you're under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and conspiracy to commit financial crimes across international borders." As agents led a screaming Sera away, the ballroom remained frozen in shocked silence. Jean Woo stood motionless, watching his wife disappear through the doors. Then he turned to Valerie. "You could have exposed this privately," he said quietly. "Why the public reveal?" Valerie glanced at Mrs. Song, who was crying openly now, not from sadness, but relief. At the other staff members, who stood taller, their dignity finally recognized. "Because she invited them here to be humiliated," Valerie said. "I wanted them to see justice, to know their worth isn't determined by cruel people in positions of power." Jean Woo studied her for a long moment. Then, to everyone's surprise, he smiled. "You're remarkable." I'm thorough. You spent 3 months scrubbing floors and enduring abuse to protect your country and expose the truth. He stepped closer. That's not thorough. That's extraordinary. Heat crept up Valerie's neck. I was doing my job. Your job is being a president's daughter and a tech genius. Going undercover was a choice. His voice dropped lower. Why? Valerie met his eyes. Because I needed to see the truth for myself. Intelligence reports can be manipulated. People can lie. But living among your staff, watching how you treated them, seeing your business operations from the inside, that showed me who you really are. And who am I? Someone trying to build something legitimate. Someone who pays his staff fairly and asks about their families. Someone whose greatest mistake was trusting the wrong person. She paused. Someone worthy of partnership. Jean Wu's smile widened. Does this mean the Smart City deal is approved? Pending final contracts, yes. But there's one condition. Name it. Mrs. Song gets promoted to Executive Director of Staff Relations for all Celestial Grand properties, with a salary befitting the position. Mrs. Song gasped from across the room. Jean Wu laughed, a genuine, warm sound that transformed his entire face. Done. Any other demands, Ms. Chun? Valerie's lips curved. Actually, there is one more thing. Yes. It's Valentine's Day, and I'm already dressed up. It seems wasteful not to enjoy the evening. She held out her hand. Would you dance with me, Mr. Huang? The ballroom watched, breathless, as Jean Wu took her hand and led her to the dance floor. The orchestra, sensing the moment, began playing a waltz. As they moved together, Valerie whispered, "When did you really know it was me?" Week 1, he admitted. No maid has a cybersecurity expertise like yours. You fixed a vulnerability in my system that my own IT team couldn't find. Then why didn't you confront me? His hand tightened on her waist. Because I wanted to see what you'd discover. And because I was curious about a woman brave enough to give up luxury for truth. And now that you know, Jean Wu's eyes held hers. Now I'm hoping this partnership extends beyond business. Valerie's heart raced beneath $10 million worth of diamonds. That might be arranged. 6 months later, at Peterson Global's annual charity gala in Aurelia, Valerie stood at the podium in a purple gown. Mrs. Song sat in the front row, now executive director and a keynote speaker. Jean Wu sat beside her, no longer just a business partner, but something infinitely more precious. Tonight, Valerie said, we honor the unseen heroes of our world. The people who clean our offices, serve our meals, protect our homes. Their worth isn't measured by their job titles, but by their dignity, their character, and their humanity. The audience, filled with service workers from around the world, rose in thunderous applause. Later, as fireworks lit the sky, Jean Wu found Valerie on the terrace. Happy, he asked. She leaned into him, watching the lights dance across the sky. Very. Still wearing the necklace? Valerie laughed. That's in a vault. This, she touched the simple pendant at her throat, a gift from Mrs. Song, means more. Jean Wu kissed her temple. I love you, Valerie Chen. I love you too, Jean Wu Huang. And under the Valentine stars, the president's daughter, who disguised herself as a maid, had found something more valuable than any investigation could uncover. True partnership, justice, and love. If this story touched your heart, smash that like button. Subscribe for more incredible stories, and comment what you loved most. Share this with someone who needs to hear that everyone, no matter their position, deserves dignity and respect. See you in the next story.